Peter Weber is taking Bachelor fans for the ride of their lives in what is shaping up to be one of the most dramatic seasons in Bachelor franchise history. But how does it end? Here's everything we know about Peter Weber's Bachelor finale. Caution, spoilers, and potential spoilers ahead. Before he was The Bachelor, Peter Weber was just a pilot competing on Hannah Brown's season of The Bachelorette, and many fans believed Weber would be the one to fly away with the former beauty queen's heart. However, after their now famous fantasy suite date in a windmill, Hannah B sent Weber packing. But when Weber's Bachelor season started off with Weber still struggling with his feelings for Brown, some viewers continued to hope The Bachelor and former Bachelorette would end up together when all was said and done. Unfortunately for fans of Weber and Brown's relationship, longtime Bachelor blogger Steve Carbone put an end to those rumors early in Weber's season. In a January 9, 2020 post on his Reality Steve blog, Carbone wrote, "All I can tell you and officially confirm today is that Hannah Brown has nothing to do with the rest of Peter's season. She doesn't show up at the finale. They're not secretly dating. Nothing. Sorry, Peter and Hannah Brown fans. No dice." At the end of the day, Peter Weber's long, dramatic Bachelor journey is ultimately about finding the one person with whom he can picture his happily ever after. It's all about who he wants to spend his life with. However, as evidenced by season previews, Weber's decision will certainly affect more people than just The Bachelor himself. In one particularly buzzworthy season promo, Weber's mother, Barbara Weber, can be seen giving the struggling Bachelor her 2 cents. Sobbing, the Weber matriarch tells her son, "Don't let her go, don't let her go. That's what love stories are made out of." Weber's mother continues pleading with the visibly confused Bachelor, telling him to, quote, "bring her home." Considering Weber's mom met Madison Pruitt during the first one-on-one date of Weber's Bachelor season, some fans assumed she was the contestant the Bachelor's mom wanted him to, quote, "bring home with him." Unfortunately for Kelsey Weir and Victoria Fuller, their respective relationships with Weber apparently weren't strong enough to last until the pilot's Bachelor season finale. Weber gave Weir the boot at the rose ceremony following his hometown dates with the women, and Fuller was eliminated after sharing a fantasy suite date with Weber. Dispelling rumors about Fuller ultimately becoming Weber's final pick, Steve Carbone revealed on his Reality Steve blog, "I know she was the last of the women to turn her Instagram back to public after filming, but trust me, that didn't mean anything. She has nothing to do with the finale." Spoilers and rumors are swirling everywhere, but can any of them be trusted? In a January 2020 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Peter Weber said, "I'm very confident that no one is going to be able to spoil my season. There's a reason I believe that, and obviously can't say it, otherwise it gives it away. I'm very confident that Reality Steve and all of these people, they're not going to find out what happens. There's no way they're going to find out." While Reality Steve's Steve Carbone may not have been able to report with 100% confidence the woman Weber chose, the blogger did reveal who he thinks is The Bachelor's final pick. Carbone wrote in a February 11, 2020 post on his blog, "I have heard from numerous sources Madison is with Peter. They are dating but not engaged. I'm telling you that that's what people have told me, but I haven't had the solid confirmation I need to 100% believe it." Despite his near-perfect track record of spoiling The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, Peter Weber's season of The Bachelor proved to be a puzzling one for Reality Steve. On November 26, 2019, Carbone tweeted, "I know you all want to know who won The Bachelor. I don't have the solid confirmation on that yet that I need. I'm not just gonna run with something I'm not sold on. I've been hearing a lot of things. When I do have confirmation, you will know. Please be patient." On February 22, 2020, Carbone still had not reached a definitive conclusion on exactly how Weber's season finale would play out. However, the blogger did take to Twitter to say he'd soon be revealing his thoughts regarding Weber's highly anticipated decision. During the February 17, 2020 episode of Peter Weber's Bachelor season, viewers watched as Madison Pruitt approached Weber after the rose ceremony, presumably to tell The Bachelor about her decision to save herself for marriage. While Pruitt seemingly wanted Weber to know her stance on premarital sex before the fantasy suite dates, Steve Carbone revealed that Pruitt's revelation reportedly didn't stop Weber from being intimate with the other women behind closed doors. Despite previously reporting that Hannah Ann Sluice and Victoria Fuller told Pruitt they'd both been intimate with Weber, Carbone revealed on February 22, 2020, that Weber was actually the one to break the uncomfortable news to Pruitt. writing that viewers would witness Pruitt gently prod Weber about his overnight dates with Sluice and Fuller on the February 24, 2020 episode of The Bachelor. Carbone tweeted, "Peter then admits he doesn't want to give details, but he has been intimate with the other women. This is hard on Madison, and she gets up from the table." On February 11, 2020, Steve Carbone took to Twitter to post pictures of frontrunner contestant Madison Pruitt out and about with a camera crew at Town Creek Park in Auburn, Alabama, prompting speculation from his followers about Peter Weber's final decision. One of Carbone's followers tweeted in response to the photos, "I hope she's the final one, but if she's not, I hope this is for the Bachelorette." In a February 12, 2020 blog post, Carbone revealed that he didn't know exactly why Pruitt was being followed by a camera crew. However, according to the blogger, the Alabama native had not been chosen to be the next Bachelorette, and even if she had been chosen, she wouldn't have been filming her Bachelorette intro package as some fans had theorized. Carbone revealed, "The Bachelorette announcement isn't for another month. They don't film Bachelorette intro packages a month in advance. The camera crew has nothing to do with that. Plus, I don't believe there's any way Madison will be the Bachelorette, even if she isn't with Peter." Bachelor fans, desperate for behind-the-scenes info and clues regarding Peter Weber's season finale, were seemingly served a silver platter of hot gossip from a source confirmed by Reddit moderators to be a relative of a Bachelor producer on February 11, 2020. According to the anonymous Reddit user, Bachelor producers worked overtime throughout Weber's season to make sure his final decision wouldn't be spoiled before it was officially revealed. The source wrote on the website, "Producers are really going the extra mile to make sure this season is unspoiled. They are having contestants do a lot of random stuff on social media to throw people off, using certain captions, liking certain pictures, posting at a specific time." The source also claimed that Weber's behavior and decisions during filming negatively impacted his relationship with the woman he ultimately chose. The Reddit user went on to say, "Peter and the final pick are very rocky right now based on how they ended up together and based on his interactions with the other women that she is now seeing for the first time as they air." While the frontrunners in many previous installments of The Bachelor and Bachelorette were made obvious early on in their respective seasons, early episodes of Peter Weber's Bachelor season were largely overtaken by drama that unfolded between the contestants competing for the pilot's heart. However, while tears and petty fights may have blocked fans from getting a clear view of an obvious favorite for Weber's heart, The Bachelor told Entertainment Tonight that he settled on his frontrunner early during filming, and that he never once changed his opinion after he'd made up his mind. He said, "I promise you, my frontrunner did not stop changing until about week 4. The show does a really good job of entertaining, but I promise you, my frontrunner did not change, and I'll leave it at that." In promos for Peter Weber's Bachelor season finale, host Chris Harrison is seen approaching The Bachelor as he stands alone in the Australian outback, seemingly holding a sparkling diamond engagement ring in his hands. It promises a tense moment, especially when Harrison reveals that something new just came to light, something that nobody saw coming. During a January 2020 interview with Glamour, Weber revealed the much-teased, highly anticipated final rose ceremony moment with Harrison was in fact just as dramatic as the promos made it seem like it would be. Weber explained, "There's nothing about that moment being overproduced at all, and I keep telling people that last week was the hardest week of my life, and it didn't stop until the very end." Between the dramatic promos teasing a not-so-happy ending for Peter Weber's Bachelor season and the never-ending mystery surrounding the identity of the woman with whom Weber ultimately found love, if he even found love at all, many Bachelor fans speculated his season would actually result in Weber being the same person he was when he started his Bachelor journey, a single, lovelorn pilot. But according to Weber himself, he couldn't be happier with the way his time on The Bachelor played out. In a January 2020 interview with Glamour, Weber refused to confirm whether or not he was engaged to his final pick. However, the pilot did seem to drop hints that he'd found the love and happiness for which he'd been searching. He said, "I can say I'm happy. I couldn't have expected it to work the way it did, but I'm happy with where I'm at right now." Despite being famous for providing definitive Bachelor spoilers often before the season's even premiere, Steve Carbone was unable to effectively spoil Peter Weber's Bachelor season finale in his usual fashion. However, Carbone did provide detailed spoilers regarding each of Weber's rose ceremonies, aside from his final rose ceremony. And the blogger was also quick to reveal the pilot's final two women, Hannah Ann Sluice and Madison Pruitt. While many fans of the show took it upon themselves to generate their own theories about Weber's season finale, including a particularly outlandish theory involving a rumored romance between Weber and Bachelor producer Julie LaPlaca, Carbone remained firm in his stance that Weber's season finale involved only Sluice and Pruitt. As hardcore Bachelor fans likely know, franchise host Chris Harrison has been dating Entertainment Tonight reporter Lauren Zima since 2018. Considering Zima hosts her very own Bachelor recap show, Roses and Rosé, it's safe to say the reporter is a pretty big fan of the Bachelor franchise.
I mean, it appears this girl is watching The Bachelor.
So it's only natural to think Zima would pry her Bachelor host beau for behind-the-scenes show secrets, like any Bachelor Nation diehard would, right? While live tweeting the February 24, 2020 episode of The Bachelor, Zima seemed to accidentally confirm that she's privy to insider Bachelor knowledge not available to your average Bachelor fan. After watching Peter Weber's romantic fantasy suite date with Hannah Ann Sluice and hearing the sweet words Weber had to say about the contestant, Zima tweeted, "How does he not pick Hannah Ann then?" The Entertainment Tonight reporter was quick to delete the tweet, but not before a fast-acting fan took a screenshot and posted the proof to Reddit. Did Zima really accidentally slip up and reveal that she knows how it all ends? We'll have to wait and see. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more list videos about your favorite reality shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.